The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Podbros Network. You can find us as well as other fine shows such as The Guy Huddle, Language of Bromance, and Dave's Nerd Compendium at podbros.com and on Twitter at Podbros Network. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Blokebusters podcast.
Welcome to this Film for Thought episode, our experiment in randomness. Yes, just get everything out of the way, as we always do. Well, now we always do. We used to forget a lot, but now we remember. Do follow us on Twitter at Blokebusters, Facebook.com, Blokebusters. We do have an email if you want to send us any comments of any kind whatsoever. We'll read them. We might not do anything about them, but we'll read them. And that's blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com. And we have a website, blokebusters.webs.com. We enjoy it. It's nice. Hopefully you'll like it too.
And, by the way, I am Ryan.
Yes, and I am Paul.
Yes.
Yeah. I figured maybe we'd go straight into it.
Okay.
Well, I kind of thought it might be fun to have
sometimes I need to remind myself, Paul.
Yeah. I just like the idea of just having it at the end.
And you have no idea who you've been listening to this entire time.
Yes. And we are, well, that's not important.
Yes. We're out of time. So,
So,
what are we doing this week? Shall I try to explain this? Or
sure, you go ahead.
And then you go ahead and save me when I need to save
you had the initial idea, so let's go with this.
So, we were just trying to think of an idea for this little episode in randomness, and at work my mind stumbled across an episode of 30 Rock where they played in there. Remember, that's NBC, so they can't curse so much. They said boff, marry, kill,
right.
Which is the I don't know if you want to call it a classic thought game.
Yes,
who or what entities or any a list of three similar things, whatever, or people, whatever, would you rather sleep with? You can marry one and you have to kill one, So I thought, why not do that with some films that are kind of tied together thematically, whether it's a trilogy or whether it's just no peeking, sir. So
not intending.
Okay, whether it's like a trilogy or whether it's just a theme they have in common or an actor or whatever, something to tie them together.
And when we were coming up with the idea for this, we realised that we both had two slightly different ideas of how this is going to work. So what's probably going to happen...
Yours is definitely more English of an idea, and mine is more American of an idea.
What is probably going to happen is, when I ask Brian, he will come back with the typical F, marry, kill.
I will try to answer as literally as possible, if it were possible to have relations with a film.
Indeed. And I believe in Brian's circumstance it would be more like having a mistress and then a wife and then
more
killing.
The passion, not just concentrating on the one time.
Whereas mine is, the F would be a one night stand, so you only see it once. And then, obviously, marry would be, you'd see it several times a year, every year.
And a good marriage.
Yes. And then the kill would be, you make sure that film never existed. So.
Okay.
So, two slightly different things.
And, when possible, maybe we'll both try to answer both sides.
Yes.
Or, if it applies. If we can't think of something, we won't hold you up.
So, for instance, just the generic one I had as the idea for, here's the tester, you've got the Cornetto trilogy. So, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End.
Oh, yeah.
What would you do? Which
F, Shaun of the Dead, kill Hot Fuzz, marry World's End.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I had a bit of trouble coming up with it, but I think that I would do it the same. Hot Fuzz is a really good film, but out of them, I prefer the comedy of Shaun of the Dead, and The World's End is such a great film. So.
But there's a fallacy in my logic with Hot Fuzz, according to your parameters.
Yes.
because my internal logic is I've seen that film enough, I know it well enough. It is still a great movie, but the third favorite of the three.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm saying kill it. But by your logic, it never existed.
Yeah, so
my logic kind of falls apart there.
Yeah, but and the reason mine is kind of like that, you'll probably come to realize when I hit one of my lists.
Okay.
So,
all right, shall we just get into it then?
Sure. Do you want to go first, or should I? I mean, since it's your game, I guess you should probably go first.
Well, I guess I can go first then. All right. So let's see here. I will go with Star Trek Into Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug.
Okay.
Or The Imitation Game.
Huh. Alright.
And of course we know the combine or the glue in that three.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Huh. Alright. Well, I think I would kill Desolation of Smaug.
Okay.
As much as I enjoy getting back to Middle Earth and all that, I don't think those films were that great.
Okay. Good point.
And I guess it would be, for me, I would F The Imitation Game and marry Star Trek Into Darkness. What about you, sir?
Well, I guess, yeah. I think I'm with you on kill the Hobbit.
Right. And then by your
kill
logic...
The Hobbit, kill the Hobbit.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Sorry. Little Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think I would swap. I think I would marry Imitation Game.
Right.
And I would F Star Trek Into Darkness.
Since
Star Trek Into Darkness is
the
more badass.
Yeah.
I think that marriage is more wrought with issues if you marry Star Trek Into Darkness.
But
Imitation Game's a little...
If it was a one-night stand, though, would you do him the way I did?
Probably.
Okay.
Yes. Imitation Game is not one I don't think you need to watch 100 times.
No.
But,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my.
You get the gist of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I will go for the second list I came up with here. Apollo 13.
Okay.
The Martian and Gravity.
Alright. I'll explain this situation in just a moment. Apollo 13, The Martian, and Gravity.
Yep.
Hang on. This might need drawn out.
That's fine. Yes, obviously I went with a bit of a space theme. I did have another film on the list instead of Gravity, but when I realized I had two space theme films, I said, nah, I gotta go with Gravity.
Okay. Alright, so Apollo 13, Martian, and Gravity.
Yes,
I think...
Of course, we all know your nostalgia for Apollo 13.
Yes. Oh my... Army bastard.
Yeah.
I think I will...
He actually is writing this down, folks.
I have to kill Gravity. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
No, I get it.
I gotta go. It's not the most recent, but it's the shortest run time. It's a thriller more than a space film.
Yeah.
If that's kind of how we're grouping these. And I guess I would have to... F The Martian. Because I want to F The Martian. not meaning Matt Damon.
Although
who cares if I was?
Yeah, we'd understand if you...
Just Mark Watney. Let's correct
that. Mark Watney.
Yes. And then, of course, marry Apollo 13. I've been married to that film for so long, I might as well keep the marriage going.
Yeah, I think, using my logic, swap your Martian and Apollo 13, and that would be me, I think.
Okay. Well, I will... I don't know, maybe we should play this one. At least I have extras that we could do. But I had Gravity, Interstellar, and The Martian.
Oh, okay.
And swapped out.
Yeah. Personally,
Does that change anything for you?
No, it does actually, because out of those, I would rather kill off Interstellar.
Okay.
And then I think I would see Gravity once, and then The Martian.
I think, yeah. Thank you. All right, so the one I will go with instead. That is my last one because I think you like that one. That one.
No,
all right, let's see here. Paper shuffling. Okay. So let's have one that's not quite as delicious. That's a nice tease here. We'll go Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
Lone Ranger.
I think I know what the last one's going to be.
Mordecai.
Now,
I think I know your kill.
Well, you say that. I haven't seen the Lone Ranger, so
okay.
So I can't.
So you're with most of America.
That,
you have not seen the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, although, I mean, if we're going based on that, then I could perfectly kill off the Lone Ranger since I haven't seen it anyway, and then I guess F Mordecai and then marry Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. But let's assume...
Incorrect.
I'll say, let us assume that the Lone Ranger is not as bad as Mordecai, and then simply swap Lone Ranger and Mordecai around there.
I think, going by your definition, Mordecai cannot be allowed to exist. Let's erase that out of existence.
I mean, the issue I would have with that is there's technically no racism in Mordecai, whereas I think Lone Ranger does have a fine line.
Is there self, or is there... Isn't there kind of English racism with Johnny Depp in that?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that technically...
And Gwyneth Paltrow, neither one?
Well, yeah, but even so, what with Lone Ranger, it's basically the modern equivalent of blackface, I think.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, I remember at the time of that podcast, I think I was more offended for you as an Englishman than you were.
Well, yeah, English people are very self-deprecating anyway, so we're fine with that.
Like, holy cow, I'm not okay with that. But, yeah, I think I'd have to F the Lone Ranger and marry Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
Because I'm just going to use the alternative of F and F that movie.
Right, yeah.
And Tonto and Johnny Depp for playing that role. Okay.
All right.
Back to you, sir.
Okay. This one I kind of went with, rather than films that we love, it's more films that I'm fairly certain you don't like. So,
okay, that's kind of where I was with the last one.
So we do have Mordecai in this list. Judge Dredd. Or,
I was trying to find a third
3D,
with this list.
And The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Bear in mind, should you marry them, you'll be hearing the Wizard of Oz munchkins over and over.
Well, damn you, because you just... I think we gotta kill Mordecai still.
Yeah, alright. I think
F the Wizard of Oz, married Dredd.
Dredd 3D, alright.
I feel gross.
I don't
know.
I think...
that's my literal... If we're going by your kind of version here, watching the film just once, I think I would go with Dredd.
You go with Dredd with the one,
and then marry Wizard of Oz.
So you would get that.
Still kill Mordecai.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I think I would become desensitized to Dredd after a while, so maybe I would.
I was desensitized the first time.
I
felt nothing.
But that's the thing. I think I could sit down and watch Dredd rather than sit down and watch The Wizard of Oz over and over. I'm fairly sick of that film.
Fairly sick of all, and I've only seen 2 of those films once.
I know.
All right.
I made it to be a bad list.
Yes, you did,
and it was.
It's definitely a very bad list. All right, I'm sort of proud of this one, so we'll see.
Okay.
That's why I saved it for last. You'll probably see where it's going to here very quickly. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
Galaxy Quest. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh. Alright. Well, I'm going to have to marry Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And as much as I enjoyed it, it's not as good as the other two, so I would kill off Galaxy Quest.
Okay.
And then Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I would only see the ones, and if you think about it, that's not too bad, because there are still the books, and the radio series, and the TV show, so there's enough out there.
Sure. I think, forgive me here, I think I'm with you on Mary Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Once isn't enough on that movie, and it hasn't been 20 times, hasn't been enough so far.
Would you swap the other two?
I would swap. I have more love, I think, for Galaxy Quest, because there has so many people in it that I don't think of as great actors, or just that of loving maybe their movies, but every single actor kills it in that movie.
Yeah, I'll grant you. It's a solid ensemble.
It's the best.
And stars Missy Pyle, who has recently been in Director's Cut, which hopefully will be out soonish.
So and then Hitchhiker's Guide, I just didn't connect with it as much. So,
fair enough. That is a very British film, and a very British franchise.
I tried to watch it a couple of years. That was that's one of my Galaxy movies.
All right. Well, my last one. I'm really interested to see where you go with this one. And this one doesn't have a real theme going through it. It's more just to make it as difficult as possible for you. Okay. Rocky, Lincoln, and The Dark Knight.
There's no way to answer that.
I know.
There's no way.
I think I know what mine would be.
It's like you're...
But I don't really like
Lex Luthor, and you just handed me some kryptonite. Okay, hang on. Gotta draw this out again.
Right.
Rocky, Lincoln,
and The Dark Knight.
Alright, I gotta base this off of number of times I've already seen these films.
I guess the first question you have to ask yourself is, which one would you kill?
Yeah, exactly. Because I can't kill any of them.
I know.
Damn you for restricting me to the confines of a game to get this information out of me. I have to kill The Dark Knight.
Ooh, alright.
I mean, as much as I love that movie,
out of those
I think
three,
it's the least likely to be a classic. It is a great film for the genre of film it is. One of the, I would say, the best, with the best villain portrayal, I think, of all time.
Yeah,
but the other two I think are American classics. Lincoln may not be old enough to be there yet, but it will be, I feel like. And I just have a feeling if I say kill with anything related to Daniel Day-Lewis, Daniel Day-Lewis will find me. And he will kill me.
Yeah, you'll just get a knock on the door.
He will drink my milkshake. And so I will F Lincoln and marry Rocky. Rocky has been one of my favorite films my entire life.
Now, is that by your standard or by my standard?
That is...
Which one would you only see once?
I would only see Lincoln once. And I would marry Rocky. And I would keep it the same for my literal effing Lincoln and marrying Rocky.
Right.
It gets less literal later.
Yeah.
But And Dark Knight. I'm really sad. Thanks. Thanks, Paul. Now you gotta answer it.
Well, you know which one I would kill.
Rocky.
Yeah, because I'm just not the biggest Rocky fan. But yeah, the other two, I genuinely don't know. I do think I would marry... Actually, you know what? I would marry The Dark Knight. And I would F Lincoln. Because Lincoln, such a solid film. But The Dark Knight, I think I would rather rewatch.
Well, yeah, exactly. Lincoln is, like you said, just a masterpiece. But once again, it's a long film. Yeah. It's just watching performances, which is great. Yeah. But The Dark Knight can hold my interest in, as far as entertainment value.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln is fantastic acting. But Heath Ledger as the Joker is so entertaining to watch. So
yeah, every single scene is quotable and memorable. So, oh my god, I feel dirty. All right, I guess that's how we're gonna have to end this film for the lads. Killing the Dark Knight.
I'm feeling dirty for it.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Do let us know if you have any, or
how you would answer any of ours differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that we might have to come back to this again at some point, because
definitely better than BS. At least from this side of the table.
Well, yeah, that's because you can't exactly lose this game.
Exactly. I like that. All right.
Well, I've been Paul.
And I've been Brian.
See ya.
Bye.